Good evening, and welcome everyone to the Fairfield Public Library. Tonight, we're embarking on a fascinating journey to explore the bridge between nature's ingenuity and human innovation through biomimicry and sustainable design. I'm your host and presenter, David Ford. I am a Jefferson County resident. I've got a small regenerative farm and homestead just north of town. I did my undergraduate work here at MIU. I got my bachelor's in regenerative and sustainable living with an emphasis on systems thinking. I am currently a master's student at Arizona State University and specializing in biomimicry. What is biomimicry? Well, it's an approach to innovation that seeks sustainable solutions to human challenges by emulating nature's time-tested patterns and strategies. Just to give you an example, and everybody's familiar with this product, but Velcro. It was inspired by the cockleburrs that you find out in the fields all over Iowa. The first practical use of Velcro, believe it or not, was in the 1960s television series, the original Star Trek. It was used by the costume designers to make their costumes as seamless as possible, so there wasn't any buttons or zippers or seams. Everything was just Velcroed together. The need for sustainability. Very quickly, we're going to talk about three things. One is climate change, loss of biodiversity, and pollution. Climate change. In 2023, the amount of carbon dioxide, or CO2, in the atmosphere reached the highest levels ever in more than 3 million years. It's currently exceeding 420 parts per million. This increase is contributing to global warming and the rise in extreme weather events. Does anybody remember the storms that rolled through here about 2 weeks ago? Biodiversity loss means that more species, even species that we've never discovered or classified, are quickly becoming endangered or extinct, mainly because of human actions. These include destroying habitats, pollution, overfishing, as well as the climate change that we just talked about. And it's impacting life everywhere, on the land and in the ocean. Every year, talking about the ocean, about 11 million metric tons of plastic ends up in the ocean. And this could almost triple by 2040 without maybe any major efforts to stop it. This threatens marine life, who either are eating the plastic or they're getting caught up in it. And most recently, we have discovered that the microplastics are actually ending up in our own food streams. So biomimicry. There's three essential principles to biomimicry. Emulate. By harnessing the wisdom of nature, we can create more regenerative designs through the scientific, research-based practice of learning from and then replicating nature's forms, processes, and ecosystems. The ethos is simply understanding the mechanics of life and crafting designs that consistently nurture and cultivate life-supporting environments. Reconnecting. You just can't argue with the fact that we are part of nature, and we can benefit from connecting to our environment. Spending in time in nature helps us understand how life works, and it can inspire us to use natural strategies in our design. Taking a quick couple looks at some case studies here. The Eastgate Center in Zimbabwe. It's a fantastic project in architectural biomimicry. It's drawing inspiration from the natural world to address design challenges, most notably in sustainability. It's modeled after the self-cooling method that are used by the termite mounds all over the African savanna. The building employs a very similar and passive ventilation system. The mound structures, the termite mounds, have a network of vents and tunnels that move air. At the base of the mound, there are openings through which cool air enters. This air then travels through the tunnels. It's getting warmed by the heat generated inside the mound, and that heat is coming from either the termites themselves, their activities, or the composting processes that are going on in the mounds. That warm air then rises. It creates a natural convection current, almost like a vacuum, that's going to draw more cool air in from the lower openings. This warm air eventually escapes through vents at the top of the mound. This approach eliminates the need for conventional air conditioning in the Eastgate Center. That's significantly reducing energy consumption and operational costs while providing a comfortable indoor environment. Such innovative, nature-inspired designs have positioned the Eastgate Center as a leading example in sustainable architecture. One of my favorites, water collection from fog. The Namib desert beetle, say that 5 times fast, residing in Africa's Namib desert has evolved a unique fog harvesting technique. It has these hardened wings on its back that are hydrophilic, excuse me, I got that backwards. They're hydrophilic bumps. And hydrophilic really means drawing to, or it loves water, so it attracts water. And they're surrounded by the rest of the shell, which is hydrophobic, which is not loving water, as anybody with a phobia might know. As the morning fog passes over the shell of the beetle, water condenses on the bumps, and then there are these unique channels that actually allow the water collecting on those wings, those bumps that are hydrophilic. It routes the water down these channels into the mouth, offering the Namib desert beetle a drink of water. It's inspired these fog nets and these fog harvesting systems that are designed to mimic the beetle's method of collecting water, and they've been implemented in water-scarce regions globally. These systems utilize a fine mesh that also happens to be a little bit on the hydrophilic side. The fog rolls through the nets. The fog condenses into droplets. When the droplets become heavy enough, they'll drop down into a trough where it's collected, and then the water itself is routed somewhere else. And that's offering a sustainable solution to areas that have water scarcity. Fog harvesting technologies offer a sustainable solution for fresh water in arid regions with limited conventional water sources. This biomimetic approach demonstrates the value of sustainable, nature-inspired solutions and highlights the importance of preserving and learning from our natural environment. Challenges and criticisms. Applying biomimicry in the sustainable design, while promising, does face several challenges and criticisms. Nature systems are incredibly complex and interconnected. Fully understanding and replicating these systems without unintended consequences can be difficult. This complexity often requires interdisciplinary collaboration that can be challenging to organize and manage effectively. Solutions that are inspired by nature can sometimes be difficult to scale up for mass production or use. What works well on a small scale in nature might not translate directly to larger human-scale applications without significant adaptation or innovation. Of course, there's some current technological limitations. Our current technology might not always be advanced enough to mimic the efficiency of natural processes. Biomimicry often requires cutting-edge materials and technologies that can be expensive, or they're in the developmental stage, making widespread application challenging. There are, of course, economic challenges. The initial costs for the research, the development, and implementation of biomimetic solutions can be quite high, and that can deter investors. Additionally, existing economic structures may not always support or incentivize sustainable innovations. They often favor cheaper, less sustainable options. Determining and navigating the ownership of ideas that might have been inspired by nature, it can be a little bit complicated. There can be challenges in patenting natural processes or designs which might hinder innovation or make it even difficult for pioneers to benefit from their research and investment. There's also some cultural or behavioral barriers. These often resistance to change, especially when it involves adopting radically new approaches inspired by biomimicry. Shifting the mindset of industries and consumers to value sustainability and long-term benefits over short-term gains requires significant effort. As a regenerative farmer, I can tell you the conversations I have with traditional farmers are difficult. It's almost impossible to change their minds about how they're doing farming. Regulatory and policy frameworks. Lack of supportive policies or rigid regulations can stifle biomimetic innovation. Developing new solutions might require navigating or even pushing for changes in existing legal and regulatory frameworks. This will allow for more novel approaches of design and construction. Overcoming these challenges requires a concerted effort from from researchers, businesses, policymakers, and educators to foster a collaborative and supportive ecosystem for biomimicry and sustainable design. The future of biomimicry and sustainable design. It holds exciting promise for innovation and transformation. I'm convinced it will change how we tackle environmental issues as well as develop new technologies. By studying nature's systems more closely, biomimicry will become the key in promoting sustainability in different areas. I predict a rise in the use of biomimicry in various sectors like architecture, where buildings not only aim for energy efficiency, but they also positively integrate with their environments. And it's similar to how a tree supports a diverse amount of life around it. In material sciences, we expect to see more bio-inspired, sustainable materials in the future. These materials are going to be strong, they'll be durable, and they're going to have special features like self-healing, like your skin, which is something they're working on. Or how about spider silk? They'd love to be able to replicate, and they are replicating, the strength and toughness of the spider web. This is going to significantly impact various fields, including healthcare and aerospace, just to name a couple areas. The concepts of sustainable design and biomimicry are set to transform our resource production and consumption into a more circular economy. By emulating nature's methods, we aim to create systems that greatly reduce waste, regenerate resources, and it's similar to how nature is actually recycling nutrients. Combining digital technologies like artificial intelligence and big data with the principles of biomimicry will improve our ability to create and apply sustainable solutions. These tools can enhance our understanding of natural systems that allow us to predict the effectiveness of bio-inspired designs and help in optimizing their performance. Looking ahead, the combination of learning from nature and focusing on sustainability has the potential to create a stronger, more sustainable world. It's about moving us as a people from being users of nature to being inspired by it, and then to make positive contributions to the health of our planet. Achieving this vision will need teamwork across different fields, not just scientists and designers, but also lawmakers, businesses, and communities, all united and working towards sustainability. So, how do we get involved? Start by deepening your understanding of what biomimicry is. Read books, academic articles, and online resources dedicated to biomimicry and its applications. Some of the key resources, and a favorite book of mine, is Biomimicry Innovation Inspired by Nature. There's also the Biomimicry Institute's website. There's asknature.org, Biomimicry 3.8. They're all fantastic websites that get you started, and they all offer an unbelievable amount of information on the topic. Enroll in online courses or workshops on biomimicry. These programs often cover the fundamentals of biomimicry, case studies, and how to apply biomimicry principles in various disciplines. Join biomimicry forums, social media groups, and local or global communities. I don't particularly like what's going on formerly Twitter, now X, but there is an unbelievable amount of biomimicry that's being discussed on those little feeds. These programs, I lost my place. Sorry about that. How about joining the biomimicry forums, social media groups, and local or global communities? Networking with like-minded individuals and professionals in the field can provide support, resources, and opportunities for collaboration. How about practicing? How about start applying biomimicry principles in your own projects or work? This could be as simple as observing nature closely to solve a design problem, or incorporating a biomimetic solution into your area of expertise. Participate in biomimicry and sustainable design conferences, seminars, and webinars. These events are great opportunities to learn from leading experts, discover the latest research, and network with professionals in the field. For those who are more deeply committed to working in this field, consider a higher degree, like a master's or a PhD in biomimicry or related discipline that can provide you with a strong foundation and specialization. Some universities, like Arizona State University, offer programs specifically focused on biomimicry. Look for opportunities to collaborate on biomimicry projects. This could be through your workplace, academic institutions, or volunteer projects. Practical experience in applying biomimicry principles can be invaluable. The field of biomimicry is constantly evolving, so stay informed about new discoveries, technologies, and applications of biomimicry by subscribing to relevant journals, newsletters, and following key influencers or organizations. Again, Biomimicry 3.8, you can sign up for their mailing list. They'll send you some great information on biomimicry. The Biomimicry Institute, as well as AskNature.org. They'll all send you information either weekly or monthly to keep you in the loop. These are my contact details if you'd like to get a hold of me, if you have any questions. dnford1@asu.edu, and I do have a LinkedIn profile at David N. Ford. Special thank you to Biomimicry 3.8, as well as the Fairfield Public Library for letting us all meet here today. Again, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I hope you learned something. I'm going to now open the floor to any questions that people might have. Yes, ma'am.
Have there been any local projects utilizing biomimicry?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, about 10 years ago, I believe, 10 to 12 years ago, my professor, Dr. Dana Baumeister, worked with a Stephen Valentine. Stephen Valentine is an investment banker here in town, and I was able to network with him about a year ago through an Earth Day celebration that we were having out at the Eco Village. And he's forwarded me the paperwork and the perspective, as well as the biomimetic study that they had done, applying biomimicry to financial investments. If you're interested in reading that, again, I'll get with you after, and I'll be happy to give you my email, and I can forward that information with you. Are there any other questions?